We got a brand new edition of the Odds and End Zones podcast on the BGN Radio Network. Coming at you right now, I'm your host, Shamus Clancy, joined by my boy, Zo.
What's up, bro?
Playoff season, baby.
Playoffs. If this doesn't get the juices flowing, check your pulse. It's playoff season. I mean, listen. The week started really Sunday night when we found out who the Birds are going to be playing. Monday night with the college football playoff.
Your dogs.
And then, just all this week, man. I mean, I've been looking at this. It feels like it's a fast week, but it feels like the slowest week possible because we're all just waiting for Saturday and Sunday, and I guess Monday too. But I'm super excited, man. I love playoff time in basketball and football. There's nothing like playoff time. I love it.
I had talked on From the Bleachers a couple weeks back, ranking possible start times for the Eagles on Wild Card Weekend when we knew the Eagles had clinched. As someone who's a parent of two children, I have a way different perspective on the games. I like the Sunday afternoon games, which is what I like, either at the 4 o'clock game or the 1 o'clock game, the Eagles playing at 1 o'clock. Your thoughts on that?
It couldn't have been more perfect because for me, right, like you said, I know I told you on here and privately, a Monday night game would have been the end of me. Like I swear. But this being on Sunday, 1 p.m., I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. Also, it's perfect pig out time. Like we're already talking about what our menu's going to look like, what we're going to put on for the kids while we watch the game. It's perfect. I can't. It was either I would have been able to live with Saturday afternoon or Saturday night or Sunday afternoon. So I'm fine. I'll take it.
So the 4 o'clock game on Sunday between the 49ers and Cowboys is on CBS. But that's the game this year that would be simulcasted on Nickelodeon. So if the Eagles ended up being that Nickelodeon game, since you have the two young children, would you have watched the Nickelodeon broadcast, or that made you want to kind of rip your head off or like stick, nails in your eyeballs?
I would have been so annoyed. I would have watched, but I would have been super annoyed. I feel like I watch enough Nickelodeon that sometimes I need a separation of church and state, to be honest. So I would have watched, but I would have been poking my eyeballs out probably.
If the Eagles had played on it, I would DVR it and watch the regular feed, and if they lost, immediately deleted it. But during the week, I would have rewatched it and had like the fun vibes and see Tom Brady get slimed at the end of the game after Darius Slay has a game-sealing pick six against him.
A pick six and Brady gets slimed, or like Fournette fumbles and the ball turns into like SpongeBob or something.
Or Larry Nance Jr.'s donkey turns into Patrick Starr. That's the most wild thing. If you don't know what we're talking about, a few years back, I think it was Bleacher Report did a highlight of Larry Nance Jr. dunk when he was on the Cavs, and then as he was kind of running back on D after, he's a great dunker, great in-game dunker. After that, they kind of just changed him into a cartoon of Patrick Starr, and he was like doing the Ben Simmons nose smoke move almost. It was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
I still don't get it. Darian shares it all the time.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand it. All these years later, man, and I still don't get the tweet or the graphic. And it's even funnier that they kept it up. That's what's the funniest.
Yeah. Thing. Their social media manager had taken a brownie that night or something. Yeah. All right. Lines on Sunday. I want to go over the ones around the league first, and we get into some Eagles crap after that.
Yeah, that works.
Cool. So 4:30 on Saturday, the early game, first wild card weekend playoff game. We have two teams that haven't won a playoff game in decades. You have the Bengals, who haven't won one since, I believe, 1990, 91, 92, that era. So before I was alive, I think back to how much I complained about the Eagles. The Eagles have won probably close to 20 games, playoff games, in my time as a fan. Imagine being a Cincinnati fan, haven't seen a single one. So you have the Raiders going out there who haven't won a playoff game since 2002. I think they've only had one playoff appearance in between there. In 2016, David Carr got hurt at the end of the season, so he didn't even play in the playoffs. I think it was Connor Cook, I believe, was the quarterback who started for them against the Texans. Whoever slop quarterback they were throwing out there, because they always had those terrible guys before, the current guy who I don't really want to talk about. So that's the early game. I think this has more juice than a typical 4:30 first wild card game. You have Joe Burrow, who's super exciting. Seems like a guy that's on the up and up. If you had a young son or a young fan who's probably 12, 11, 10 years old, probably wants a Joe Burrow jersey for Christmas. Jamar Chase, historic, already broke the Bengals single season record for receiving yards this season. Not for a rookie, just overall broke Chad Johnson's 2005 record already as a rookie. Exciting. T. Higgins is a beast. But you have the Raiders going in. They're a little bit of a gritty team. Derek Carr doesn't have a lot of experience playing outdoors. I know the Raiders haven't looked great outdoors this season, but I like this Raiders team. They're a little pesky, and you have Raiders plus 5.5, Bengals 5.5-point favorites.
And they're like, honestly, the Raiders they're an anomaly because they play tougher than their record would show. Like a lot of their losses, you're like, this is weird. Like a team that plays this tough shouldn't be losing this game, but they have. And I think a lot of that just comes down to execution for them. I don't think it's ever a matter of like heart or talent or skill. I just think that a lot of times they just don't execute, and it costs them games. Like when they lose to, more talented teams. But they went into Dallas and smacked the Cowboys around. They got some other marquee wins, and but this is a Bengals team that like you said about the Raiders. I really like this Bengals team. T. Higgins is. It's crazy to say this, but T. Higgins kind of gets cast aside because of how good a season Jamar Chase is having. But dude, like they got two number ones. Like that's really it. And Burrow Joe Burrow, and they make that running game work. And man, I really, really think that this is going to be certainly one of the games of the weekend. I don't know if you I'm not quite sure in the confidence in either team if you are a fan, but I think that it's going to be certainly a high scoring one and really, really, really fun to watch because both these teams like to air it out. So I think that it's going to be a ridiculously fun game to watch.
No one throws deep balls more than Carr. And I will say this, in the BGN writer pool this week, I picked the Raiders, not just the spread straight up. We're doing it. I was a co-champion in the pick'em pool for this season, tied with our great readers. So I was, I think 174 and 91 or something like that. So shout out to the readers for also being, you have the best readers at bleedinggradation.com. But I think both these teams have really good energy.
Yeah.
I mean, Bengals, Joe Burrow is the savior. They haven't won a playoff game since before I was alive. All of that, you have the offensive rookie.
Crazy? There was you probably saw a tweet. There's a tweet that said
a text message one.
Yeah, exactly. You read my mind. Yep. Think about that for a second. That's insane.
The last time, so if someone didn't see this meme that's been circling around on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, the last time the Bengals had a playoff win was the year before the first ever text message was sent. So the joke was no one has ever sent a text message about a Bengals playoff win.
Just nuts, man. I can't. Just insane to think about.
Yeah, both teams likable. I like Derek Carr. I think he's maybe a little bit of a nitwit off the field sometimes.
Yeah.
But Joe Burrow's the man. That offense is flying. And both teams, they just put up points, air it out. We'll see how the weather is doing. I think it might be a little murky in Cincinnati, Ohio. But probably, I would say, at least an above average 4 o'clock Saturday game for Wild Card Week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think if you're a fan of just like two teams just kind of, really just going at it and airing it out, you'll certainly want to watch this. Like, I don't think this is going to be a defensive struggle at all. I actually think the opposite. I think whoever can get 1 or 2 stops is probably going to win this game.
Yeah.
I don't see either team having trouble scoring the ball, but if the Raiders can put a lid on Burrow and Chase and Higgins, much easier said than done. Then they'll probably pull it out. But if you ask me to pick right now, I probably would pick the Bengals. I just seeing what they did to that Chiefs defense really shook me. I did not think that they were that kind of team, but man, they really showed me something. So I think that it's home. They'll be in front of their fans. That's a fun fan base to be around.
They have that chubby little white kid rapping.
Yeah.
That felt like watching me as a kid in like an oversized Brian Westbrook jersey.
Yeah, they got that. Yeah, right.
Singing like a song from Get Rich or Die Trying.
The kid's a prep freshman, obviously. it'll be a lot of fun.
And both of them this season and in just the last 2 weeks have played in maybe the two best games of the season.
I know
that Chiefs Bengals game that the Bengals pulled out, and then last week the game theory prisoner's dilemma almost tie between the Raiders and Chargers.
And Carr, it's just so David Carr is such a jerk, and you know what? I actually had to commend him as a fan of a team that has hated rivals. When he's counting down to 3 seconds to get that timeout, the ref, he just flashed, just dirt eating grin, just like, yep.
He has dirtbag energy, but I mean it in a good way for your quarterback.
Yeah, he has the proper just dirtbag energy and just that little glare. Like, yep, we're not taking the tie. We'll see you next year. It goes to the point that like I know we were all talking about it, but like people forget how much a lot of these teams, especially division rivals, hate each other. Like that, like they hate each other. They hate playing each other. They hate seeing each other. I loved it. He has the proper dirtbag energy.
Yes. Saturday night, 8:15. I think this is a great slate this whole weekend. Yeah, but Saturday, 8:15, Patriots at Bills.
Yeah.
A little bit of changing of the guard a little way.
Yeah.
But the Patriots come right back after 1 year off. And Mac Jones looks pretty good. Not unbelievable.
Yeah.
But very good in that system. Feels like the perfect quarterback for Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator for the Pats. Bills 4-point favorites in Orchard Park. Taking Bills in points, I think.
I'm taking Bills in points. It's Buffalo in January. Not that New England would not.
I mean, both these teams are equipped to play in any weather whatsoever.
They're both ready to play Blizzard football. I mean, that. Oh man, I feel like it was a month ago now, but the last game they played in Orchard Park, Mac Jones threw the ball twice, and they won. So I think both of these teams obviously are Northeastern mud rakers, and they're ready for a blizzard if there is one, and it's Buffalo, so it probably will be. So this is not going to be fancy at all, like the game we just talked about. This is just going to be straight up
stylistic opposite,
complete stylistic opposite. Straight up, punch them in the mouth. Let's go see who can, who's tougher. So this will be fun though too. I feel like if you're just a football fan who doesn't get to watch a lot of these teams, you'll finally get a chance to see how good a lot of these players and a lot of these teams are. Because there's looking at this. First of all, you got to be good to make the playoffs. Like there's no bad team in the playoffs. Yeah. Like that's a farce. All these teams made the playoffs because they're good teams. So like if you're a fan who doesn't always get to watch all these teams play, it's also a really good eye opener.
Yeah, and it'll be 8 degrees, and Josh Allen will throw a ball so hard it breaks Dawson Knox's thumb.
It'll break somebody's thumb, right? Because the ball leaves his hand. It's already a frozen ice rocket because he throws it 76 miles per hour. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun, chilly night. We're going to be on the couch, bundled up, saying, "Geez."
Do you remember that Brett Favre Donald Driver story?
Yeah.
For people out there who don't remember, one time, obviously Brett Favre played in a million games in a row, kind of warrior, the typical gunslinger type vibe, threw the ball, kind of similar to Allen, similar to a lot of quarterbacks. Kind of had, Mahomes, Josh Allen, both have a little Brett Favre, and Favre wasn't as athletic, but he was a runaround guy too, a little bit, not rushing for a lot of yards, but moving around the pocket. Threw the ball again, a million miles per hour. They're warming up before a game in Lambeau. I'm sure it's super cold out. And throwing the ball at Donald Driver. If you're a football fan of a certain age, you probably remember Donald Driver, very, very good wide receiver for the Packers for a long time. And throws him a pass, and I think Donald Driver kind of just effing around with him and says, man, that wasn't that hard of a pass. And literally the next pass being this back bayou Southern guy whips it, not just a million miles per hour, like 5 million miles per hour. And he breaks one of his fingers or thumb in warm-ups before the game.
And like, I remember, I think it might have been Greg Jennings saying that like if the way, like if you ever caught a ball from him in the winter time, that like you probably walked away with a broken finger or two. You just didn't know it because it was so cold.
Yeah.
Like the way that the velocity at which he threw the ball, like it never felt good. It didn't matter when it was, but in the winter, like it especially, you were happy your hands were frozen in the winter because it hurts so much to catch the ball from him.
You laying the points with the Bills?
I like the points for the Bills. I like this Bills team.
Same.
They stumbled a couple of times, but I like them. I think, we'll talk about it when we get to our game. But defense carries you a long way in at this time of year. So I like them. I think that their defense isn't scared, and they certainly will score enough points. So I'm taking them in the points.
So 1 o'clock game on Sunday is obviously the Birds. Birds 8.5 point underdogs. We'll skip that for now just to go through the whole non-Eagles NFL slate. Yeah. 4:30 game. San Francisco 49ers going down to Texas to take on the Cowboys. 49ers 3-point dogs down there. 49ers money line plus 145 if you're an Eagles fan and intrigued about hate watching Dallas. Can you imagine the scene, Zo? The Eagles pull off a miraculous upset win over Tom Brady, advance the divisional round, go to Lambeau Field. After that, you're sitting in your house, you're full for some pizza, wings, buffalo chicken dip, whatever it is you're eating, enjoying some ice-cold Kenny's or your beverage of choice, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. And then you get to watch the Cowboys lose.
Listen, it's not that far-fetched. There's a lot of people. Again, talk about teams that a lot of people may not have seen. That we haven't seen this Niners team since week 1. And that was 3 months ago. Like they're a different team, since that game. But top 10 against the run. I mean, top 10 defense overall. Top 10 offense. They're good. They're a good team, and they will punch people in the mouth. And they are certainly not afraid of the Cowboys, or at least not afraid of the moment. And obviously Dallas they are who they are. They'll have all their guns. They'll have all their defensive players will be back. But I would not be shocked. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers pulled out, a 3-point or touchdown, victory. I don't think that they're certainly not a pushover at all. They're tough. They're going to be a tough out.
If I was a gambler out there, I think I would like to buy a half point on that +3 on the 49ers. I really think that even if the 49ers lose, it could be a 31-28 type game, a 34-31.
Yeah.
I could see this being the best game of the weekend slate, really.
100%. I actually think that this could certainly come down to a field goal or putting that Dallas defense on a skewer and making them make a stop. I mean, we haven't really seen them win a game for this team yet. A lot of it has been Dak driving them down the field for either a touchdown or a field goal, but we've yet to see them actually have to beat somebody on the defensive side of the ball. So, I think this could certainly, between this and the Raiders, Bengals, I think one of those two has potential to be game of the week.
All right, and then Sunday night we have what I think is very clearly the worst game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the game to end in a tie just for the hell of it in that Chargers-Raiders game, but I also would have liked to have kept the Steelers and the corpse of scumbag in a literal sense, not just the fake Derek Carr energy. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. I would love if the Chiefs smacked them by 45 points.
Yeah, I need this to be.
I want Big Ben's last game to be 12 for 37, 123 yards, 3 turnovers.
Yeah, I need 2 interceptions by halftime. I need a pick 6 in the third quarter. I need this to be memorable in all the worst ways for him. Like 12 points to me is being very kind. Like I need them to just get absolutely obliterated. Like maybe I hope that in some form or fashion, Big Red is telling his guys, let's send a message because I need this to be massacred.
Did you see his one quote today, Big Ben?
Yeah.
I can't even say it verbatim, but it was something along the lines. I guess he was doing a little bit of a reverse psychology momentum thing, like, "Oh, this team's like unbelievable. We'll probably lose," one of those things. And I was just a little strange. I get if it was, maybe a first-time head coach saying something like that, but guys in his 40s, I would think, and has won 2 Super Bowls, maybe has through one of maybe the greatest pass in the history of the Super Bowl.
In Super Bowl history, sure.
Yeah, kind of an odd statement from a guy who certainly one of the most unlikable people on the planet.
Just a weird vibe from him all around, and it's a shame because
you think he wanted to lose in a way, like he didn't feel like dealing with this. I'm not even like, I know we joke about stuff like that, but I think he was ready to kind of hang it up a bit.
Like I generally think that he was like that he was ready to finally call it quits after that. So I look at him and I just see he's got one foot in the grave already, dude. Like he can't wait for this season to be over. I want them to be absolutely embarrassed so we can just move on. The goodbye tour is embarrassing. Like all these people saying what we should be happy for and thankful for, like that's disgusting. I can't do any more of that.
The ESPN love fest on that Monday Night Football game was nauseating for his last game.
I can't do that, and I can't do that. I'm like, dude, let's get. I'm like, let's please get this over with. I can't.
Yeah, institute a running clock in the fourth quarter when the Chiefs are up 27. Let's
right.
I'll get the bet at a decent time.
We need a mercy rule.
Yeah. Monday night, first ever NFL playoff Monday Night Football game. 8:15. We have the Cards NFC West matchup, rivalry matchup, going to the Rams. Rams are 3.5-point home favorites at SoFi Stadium. I think I like the Rams straight up, maybe not the spread. Yeah. Rams money line minus 190. So talk about minus and plus out there. Minus 190 bet would mean that if you bet $19, you would win $10 on that bet. Just for people out there don't want to talk over people's heads sometimes, even though we're no experts, we know a little bit, right?
You know a little bit.
So right? I like Rams money line more than just getting them to win at minus 3.5. Cards plus 3.5. I don't think that's a bad bet. The Rams aren't overwhelming, but
no.
Neither of the Cardinals. Neither quarterback has won a playoff game. Stafford is in his 13th season, has only played in, I want to say 2, maybe 3, has never won. And Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury are their NFL playoff debuts.
I like the Rams. I like they are a confusing team, and I say confusing in the sense that they're another team that you look at and you're like, they're too talented to look sometimes as inept as they do.
Yes.
Like you and they listen, all credit to them. They're one of those teams. They're like the LA and Miami teams, for some reason, they don't have to abide by the same cap rules, but they're like the Lakers. They can always get who they want regardless of what it takes. So like they went out and got OBJ, and they got Von Miller, and they had this star-studded team on both sides of the ball, and then they go out in some games and just look like absolute poop. So I they're an anomaly, but they
have big fraud energy,
huge fraud energy. I wanted. There's a couple times this season I wanted to add them to the unserious list, but they've kept my hand from doing it. But yeah, I think they'll win this one. I like them in the points, but I certainly think they have huge fraud energy.
I could see a little Stafford meltdown in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing. It's part of the reason why I was asked if I wanted Tampa or the Rams, and I was like, you know what? I feel like Stafford has huge meltdown potential. So I took him, but yeah, I think that they'll pull this out because I think they're just a more talented team. But going forward, I totally see huge fraud energy.
I was looking it up while we were doing that little discussion. Before we end up with the around the NFL slate, I will say one bet I like from all these games, a little prop. Raiders Bengals, first touchdown in that game, first touchdown in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking.
I love
Deshaun Jackson, first touchdown, plus 3,700. So that's plus 3,700 means if you bet $10, you'd win 370.
That
I think as an Eagles fan, you're getting there Saturday, you're having some people over, you're going to your parents' house, your buddy's house, your partner's spouse, whatever, and you're cracking open that first beer, just the wings and pizza god here. You want Deshaun to do that. And as we said, the Raiders air it out, throw it deep more than anyone. And that's a statement. That's a statement play.
And in the playoffs, there's no such thing as like leaving it. Like the whole kitchen sink is thrown at you.
Yes.
So it's not beneath them to air it out 60 yards to Deshaun that first play. I love that. I think that's listen, we're all spending money this weekend. So like, why not take a chance? You're gonna have your 6 playoff John rosters out anyway. So
yeah, if I had that written down as a plug. Our boy Meech, if you might follow him on Twitter, Philadelphia Twitter OG at Meech1 MEECH
institution. Yes.
ONE runs this playoff John every year. You could find it on his Twitter page. It's like the best fantasy gambling thing you can do during the playoff slate. The pool last year, you could win from $4,000, $2,000, $1,000, weekly prizes, everything. Really fun. You could tweet at us or DM us individually too, and we could put you in contact to get that out there. Totally a lot of fun. Did you do your team yet?
I'm actually. I might.
Do you want to do it on? I did my team. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to get in your head about it.
I don't want to.
Yeah, let's not do it. We'll do it next week and see how we do.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it next week. I'll be
do it next week.
Sure. I'm excited. Right. I mean, I'm always excited for playoff, John. It's a really fun time. Also, it kind of lets you be. I don't know if you feel this way, but like, I mean, it kind of lets you. It gives you the like the real GM feel. You know, you kind of like.
Yes.
You actually have to do research for it. You know, it's like fantasy. You have to do research for it.
What I like talking about the Eagles. This is it. Playoff energy this week is tremendous. So you want to get into the birds? I grabbed on Sunday, or I guess late Sunday night. I grabbed the slice of the birds money line plus 310.
Yes, sir.
It was money that had rolled over a little bit. I had tell you a story on Sunday to watch the NFL slate. I go to my boy Loller's house, obviously at Loller System on Twitter. Zo knows Loller well. Go there. He had beer left over from his New Year's Eve party, so we're there. Tons of stuff, tons of drinks for me and everything. So I was gracious from the host. So I go and buy the pizza for everyone, for him and his girlfriend for dinner. Got some La Rosa from Broad and Snyder in South Philly. Love it. But I was just going to pay for it normally. Like I'm paying for the whole thing. And he Venmo'd me for it. He gave me $20 for the meal, like splitting. I was like, I didn't want your money. So I was like, let's throw it into the gambling machine and see what it does. So I threw it $20 on Chargers Raiders Sunday Night Football overs. I had them over 48, and then that hit. And then I just rolled that over into Eagles money line, which I've seen today hover around 290, 300. Yeah. I got it when it was 310. Earlier this morning, it was 290, plus 290 on DraftKings. That means if you got $10, you'd win $29. It's plus 300 now. I got it plus 310, and my bet was it was like 58 to win 158 or something along those lines. So I'm into that. Eagles plus 8.5. Like objectively, like truly, I like the points. I'm like, I want the Eagles to win. I'm picking the Eagles to win. Yeah, obviously, there's a bias there, but whether it's because they're hanging tough the entire time or they have a back end cover with a garbage time touchdown, I do like them plus 8.5.
I like plus 8. I also think that I think some people think that they're going to get blown out, which is fine. But regardless,
stay on that side.
Stay right on that side. Don't call or text. I remember, they're the kings of the backdoor cover, ironically, this year. But
yeah,
I think 8.5 is a good number for them. I actually think that What we've seen this year, if it's not a win, that they've been pesky enough to at least make it interesting, especially in that third and fourth quarter. Like there have been, first half could be like we could get into a 14-10 first half, but
that's a win. If they're down 14-10 going to half, I'll take that right now. I'll fast forward to it right now.
Listen, I'll spot Brady 2 touchdowns. We're going to half down 4. And you mean you tell me we're coming back out and like we can go up a touchdown or make it a 1-point game or however you look at it, like that's a win. We'll take that. So like I totally can see them doing that. I listen, they're gonna go in as healthy as can be. On the Bucs side, they're getting, I think
they're banged up, and then they lost Brown to Antonio Brown stuff, which I don't really get. But Chris Godwin's out.
Richard Sherman is out. I think they're getting JPP back and Shaq Barrett. But like, yeah, they Antonio Brown was, regardless of what he said, he was, one of their best slot receivers.
Yeah.
And then they'll be without Chris Godwin, his ACL. But I think they're getting Leonard Fournette back. So like they're not infallible. That's certainly it. And I don't think that. Also, another thing we've seen is this team is not going to be scared of them. Like, I don't think the moment will be too big for the Eagles. So I think that 8.5 is kind of a special number if you can still get it at that by the time the weekend comes.
I want to hit you with a prop bet, and I want you to guess what it is and how much it would really need to be for you to lay even like $10 or $15 on it.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor touchdown. Anytime touchdown score, not first touchdown, not last touchdown. Anytime. What do you think it is, and what would the number need to be for you to actually bet on it?
I would take. That's something I would put. Like I would put $20 down on that, but I need it to be like a plus 700 or something.
Plus 450.
Yeah. See, I'm on the fence about it because he's been so terrible. He's been so terrible. But
do you think they leave him as their punt returner? I think they do.
I think they do. I don't know. It's not the right thing to do, but I think they do. I like Kenny Gainwell doing some of it, but
yeah, man, it's got to be someone else. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it reminds me of when in the Andy Reid era, during those high leverage situations, they would throw Westbrook back there, and then they would throw Deshaun back there come playoff time.
Yeah,
those big moments.
Yeah,
I get that he hasn't been regularly doing it, but Devontae has done it in the past. I'm sure he would be excellent at it. I know they don't really want to get him injured, but what are you saving him for? It's the effing playoffs. And if they don't want to do that, Kenny Gainwell, who's your 4th string running back, 5th round rookie, that's a guy who should be back there. He's one of your best playmakers. He was second on the team in touchdowns this year with 6.
This is like you said. Like I said last week, it's the playoffs. Your playmaker should be on the field at all times. Like we had that conversation about Slay running something on offense.
Ooh, the Slay play. Yeah, we need that this week. We need the Slay play.
Your best players, your playmakers, regardless of what position they play, you got to get them an opportunity to be on the field at all times because that's what the playoffs is. Like guys are going to have their people on the field at all times. Look at what other teams do. Like, and I don't think it's crazy to not talk about it, but like third quarter comes and you're down, a touchdown or 6 points, send Devontae back there to catch a punt. And throw him off a little bit. Like why not? Maybe you shield it. Maybe you've been shielding it all week. Like you haven't shown what Devontae's been doing, but all of a sudden, you're within a touchdown in the third quarter, and Devontae's back to receive a kick or receive a punt. Like why not?
I think when you're road dogs going against the GOAT and the defending champs, you need any sort of spark, any sort of little thing to go your way, to change momentum, to give you a big score where we weren't expecting it. And that comes down to special teams.
Yes.
That's a situation I know. You throw Gainwell back there. And we've seen Reagor. Reagor has had some nice returns in the last 2 years. He has that touchdown against Green Bay last year, had a couple nice returns this year. But most of the time when he's back there, I'm just screaming, go down, just catch it, fair catch, whatever. I don't want to see you running around and losing yards in a punt return.
Yeah, like it's just and no offense to him. I mean,
it is what it is, man. It's like I don't hate him as a person. It's just it is what it is.
it's like being told, look, like I gotta sub you out because you can't shoot. Like, I have to sub you out. No, there's no offense, but like you're just not one of our playmakers on this side of the field or this side of the ball. So I can't have you in right now.
Looking at some of the other touchdown numbers, we don't have any passing and rushing and receiving props out yet.
Yeah.
And I really wouldn't take anything in terms of some of the Eagles skill position players until we really know who for sure is playing on Sunday. Maybe it's something you do Sunday morning, but we're assuming the whole running back crew is going to be active. Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Gainwell, I would think.
Yep.
I think if Miles is out there, Miles is getting the majority of the touches. But I would kind of stay away from some of those props until you know for sure who's out there. That's a Sunday morning bet, I think.
Yeah.
Other things, first team touchdown for the Eagles, which you can do on DraftKings, not just the anytime touchdown score, the first touchdown score of the whole game. You could do the first team touchdown for specific teams. Jalen Hurts plus 450, and that's compared to him being an anytime touchdown score at plus 190. I do like that. And plus 1,200 overall. First-time touchdown score.
I like him. I think I forget who I was talking to about this, but I like the running game in general. I especially if Miles is back.
I'd smash him over rushing yard. It's not up yet. I don't know what it is, but it feels like if they're going to win, it's going to be a big X factor with Jalen rushing for 88 yards or something.
Yep, I'm smashing that over the head, and I'm also I'm looking right at the Hogs on front. And I'm just saying, dude, you got to win this battle. Like that Tampa defensive line isn't infallible. Like if we're gonna win this game, it's not gonna be tossing the rock, 60 times. We're gonna smash them over the mouth, doing what we do best, and that includes, getting Jalen out of space and also testing Shaq Barrett out, dude. Like Shaq Barrett, missed a couple of days of practice. Let's test those lungs out, see where his conditioning is, get Jalen out in space early. I honestly, like, again, talk about throwing the kitchen sink, show him everything. Like, get Jalen out in space early, run some reverses, run everything and see how tired they do get. Like, see how much they do want to pursue. Like they got a couple of big guys up front, but like, let's see how much they want to run. You got to do to them the same thing that people do to Fletcher Cox, right? What did Fletcher Cox say? I don't get paid to chase down reverses, or I don't get paid to chase down, runs. Like, make those guys chase down runs. Like, and let's see how much they want to do it all game.
I took them over 2.5 total touchdowns. That doesn't mean just offensive touchdowns. It could be special teams. It could be defensive. That was plus 160. I took that. And again, if you're just a pure Eagles fan, you're saying, oh, we're definitely scoring 3 touchdowns. And if for some reason you're being a little negative going into this, which whatever, I don't like it, just, soak up the vibes in front of a playoff run, there is that potential where, again, they could be, 31-17 late and they have that backdoor touchdown that hits the over on that. Plus 160. I do like that. Oh. I really need this win. I know it's the easiest thing and the simplest thing in the world to say, but
I know it's tough. But I don't think
it's going to be tough. It's not. It's not an easy thing. It's not just we can just say, oh, they're going to win. Like, obviously, again, they're playing the GOAT, playing the defending champs on the road. But I will say, it looks like someone on Bucs Twitter, a reporter down in the Tampa St. Pete area, said it's going to be rainy, maybe some 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Chaos reigns, man. There's no team that I think could benefit more than this from the Eagles, a team that's not going to throw the ball a lot to begin with.
Right.
And someone's calling me. It's because someone's dropping off eBay jerseys to me, which ties into yesterday's podcast. So I have to answer and tell them to leave it there. Hello.
Real live transaction here, folks.
I'm on a work call right now. Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't even the packages. So that was someone's locked out or something. My entrance to not to get the specifics of where I live, I don't want to do it, but as you know, the entrance to my apartment isn't the main entrance to the building. So like, I don't have any connections with these people. And I was like, she said the UPS person locked her out or something. Like, GTFO, not my problem. I'm looking for my T.O. and Deuce Staley jersey. I was about to do that announcement that it's here on the podcast, and you're telling me you're like, and then she said, I was like, well, I'm not going to say I'm doing a podcast. I was like, it's a work call.
Yeah. I'm doing a pod. Relax.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe when the podcast is done, I'll go out there and see if this woman is still there. But not my problem right now. My problem is Tom Brady.
I think that it's not improbable. It's going to be like according to that reporter, it's going to be pretty nasty, at least for the first half of the game. Rainy and windy and probably a little money. His mutter was a mutter. I think
Yeah.
I think we'll. I think it really just come down to just like you want to give you a chance to be in it in the fourth quarter. That's all we can ask for. Like if they go
make it a game, make it a game.
Just make it a game, and then see where you're at. Go into the fourth quarter down, 20-14 or 20-13, and then go all out. Like just look at your season on the brink. Say, look, we're either gonna lose this game by a touchdown, or we're going to Lambeau next week. I really think they can win. I really think they can. I don't think that they're scared. I don't think that the moment's too big for them. I think that Jalen has it in him. I think that this defense, which has been maligned for much of the year, I think they certainly can make enough plays. I just my only worry, and I apologize to this guy who's gained the benefit of the doubt. I just don't know how the coaching is going to feel about it, or how it's going to go. It's this most of the staff's first playoff game. I just don't know, what that's going to look like. I don't know what Gannon's defense is going to look like. I don't know, what Sirianni's play calling is going to look like. So that's my only trepidation. To be honest with you, my worry isn't with the players. I think the players are going to be ready. I think they've been ready, but I really don't know what the coaching is going to look like.
Just go to the distance. Rocky won Academy Award winner for Best Picture. Go the distance, baby. I think that's the good way to end this bad boy on.
Yeah, and you know what? And watch your Rocky One, watch your Creed this week. Saturday night. Make sure that you have your orders ready. Make sure your dip is ready.
Got that Pika's order in.
With that, we're putting our Pika's order in Saturday night. We're ready. We're focused. We got some buffalo chicken dip probably coming. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're really ready to rock and roll.
All right, everyone, get ready to rock and roll this weekend. Have a blast. That's what it's all about. This is why you deal with all the BS during the season, how upset you were earlier in the season, middle of the season. Things turn around, bad energy, good energy. Let's vibe out on Sunday. So, thank you for hopping on.
Of course, brother.
Follow us on Twitter. Give us a nice 5-star review wherever your podcast platform is. And as always, keep bleeding green.